stock take is mandatory for companies that maintain stocks, in order for them to keep a proper record. For audit purposes, stock take is necessary to be done at year-end. Stock take refers to physically counting all the inventories in the store. In other words, the company manually counts every item of stock in the store and checks against the data in the system for accuracy. This is a vital activity to perform, failing which, it may affect the accuracy of the count and therefore mistake the value of inventory at year-end. This video shares some helpful tips for companies on how to prepare for a successful stock take. Before the stock count. Number 1. Decide on the date and time for carrying out the stock count, as any unnecessary distractions could lead to miscalculations in the figure. It is always most preferable to do the stock take at year-end date. However, if this is not possible, then a date closest to the year-end should be chosen. The ideal time would be when there are least or no operations, such as after closing hours or before the start of business hour. The company should include all storage, warehouse facilities and other sites where the stocks are kept, when planning for stock take. Number 2. The person in charge of the stock take should prepare a proper stock take instruction list and notify the teams of their responsibilities before the stock take. Where deemed necessary, a briefing session before the date of the stock take should be done. If this is not necessary, then a briefing on the date of the stock take itself should be performed to let the teams know the areas that they are responsible for. Number 3. Make sure the following 2 tasks are completed prior to the date and time of stock take. A. All the incoming and the outgoing stocks during stock take should be recorded, and those that are not recorded should be identified separately. If a stock is received after the cutoff time, it should be kept separately, or if a stock item is scheduled for delivery before the cutoff time, it must be removed from the stock and placed separately from other stock items. And B. That the stocks are arranged in an organized manner. During the day of stock count. Number 1. The company should make sure they instruct the staff involved in the stock take to either record all the stocks that are actually on the shelf, or they could print the inventory list from the system and ask them to note the figures counted next to the stock description. Number 2. Brief the staff on the procedures per the stock take instruction in order to ensure that everyone is aware of their responsibilities, such as which location they should count. Number 3. Do a pre-number count for the sheet with description, without quantities, that is being issued to the person in charge. A tip to consider would be that the stock take should be performed by at least 2 people, the counter and the recorder. This enables one person to focus on counting whilst the other could either supervise on the person counting so that he doesn't miss counting any item. This will minimize the error of miscalculation. After the count. Just because the stock count figures are ready, it doesn't mean that the stock take is over. Failing to follow through will yield no result from the stock take just performed. Number 1. Collect all the pre-number stock count sheet and ensure it is complete. Number 2. Compare the quantity from the stock count sheet to the quantities in the system. Investigate on any variances noted. In the event that the variance is significant, the finance team may ask the stock counter to recount the stock and update the system. Follow these tips and have a successful stock take.